Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Monique, and you're listening to the production Tell and Tell. I'm here today to give you an update on what's happening in my life. Just a brief discussion, simply to show you that I'm still here. I'm still assessing what's happening behind the scene. I'm looking at people. I've given my directive to the people around me, and I'm mainly gauging who's who's trustable. I don't know if it's a word in English, but very often the best way to know if the people that works for you or that are linked to you or that has been receiving understanding of what is expected, you let them go. And the best is how they are feeling when they're on their own, and are they working for their boss, are they working for themselves, is a very important space. And that's mainly what I've been doing. I looked at the people that I said they were on assessment for the job, and I don't know if they took it seriously, but I did see something happening in themselves and believing that the performance was counting. And as much as I've been watching on Canada and United Kingdom, and a little bit on New Zealand and Australia, the trend is the same for the four countries, and the strategy behind the scene is also the same, and it's all coming from a power that was unclear for a while, and if they would believe it or not, that they were not any longer referring to the previous leader that they have, and they had to follow the new leader. So actually we are at the end of that time that I've allowed those people, and as I have been watching them, I have been also looking at how you people have been doing. And when you are a leader, you have to really understand who are your people, what they're expecting, what they're concerned about, what they're interested in. Is people, family, humanity something that they align like me? And is this something that will make a difference in their life if we plan on this? So I've been working quietly at listing the things that needs to change urgently, and listening also to how the leaders that are in place are envisioning the country they are managing, because they are managers with a title of prime ministers. This is the same thing. The important thing for me is, in whatever we have to refer to what's in their job description, and how much creativity they are able to achieve what is expected first, to find great idea to improve the fundamental reason why they're in that position, if they're able to focus on their job description, role and responsibility? Are they keeping focus on it? Or they're everywhere wanting to lead everything and be the leader over the leader? So those are the things that I've been mainly assessing. And it's been quite interesting. And I'm not going to give a conclusion here. I just wanted to tell you that I'm working. I'm assessing how people are accepting this new change in the world, and how people from the different groups that had formed over the past 50 years are abandoning their strategy of globalizing everything to a one thing that is their own way of seeing things. And I do agree there's a lot of things that needs to be changed, but one thing I am absolutely certain is that one way of doing for all the world is the wrong avenue. And we understand that's people that doesn't understand human. And as much as they want to control, and maybe they should consult people from a dictator group, humans are creative and they will find their way out. That's how humans are. Even though they put very stringent rules, even though China thinks that they have the way of doing for the world, and even though that's what Elon Musk would like to repeat, exactly what's happening in China, because he finds it very helpful for his businesses. And those are all very good reasons. But at first, I think we've lost our way to understanding why we have first Earth, and who it is this time for destiny is for humanity. There's no other thing. Whatever you flip it around, whatever you put laws and regulation or bill to refuse people to refer to their book, humans are so creative to fear and control other people. It is fascinating. And it tells a lot about how weak they are. I'm sorry, but this is what it is. And people that scream whenever they command, you know that they have reached rapidly the limit of their creativity, intelligence at resolving issue. That's the same thing with bomb. That's the same thing with conflicts. And not that you don't have to go that far in some occasion, and I can understand if you are attacked to your sovereignty. It is something, but if you want to maintain your own power in the world, and this is how you express yourself, maybe you're late. Maybe you're late. You were asleep for a while. To whatever is happening, you're doing something wrong, obviously. And you're leading on your own, something that is necessary that we question. Who's that person? What's his role? What's the responsibility? Who he achieves it for? For what reason? Who's behind it? Who does it serve? Those are all the questions we need to look at when we look at those leaders that are very aggressive in their way of pushing their idea and to whatever reaction. But when a one person fights against another one person, we're far away from their role and responsibility as they were taking the role of being a president or a prime minister. Far away. We're treating ego and power among two persons that decided that they will shake the other one, totally ignoring anyone around. Totally ignoring anyone around. The house you've built, your family, your kids, the roof over your head, the money you've saved all your life to obtain this. They don't give a damn about who you are. And I just don't want to be unrealistic. I understand that there are situations you have to resolve. But imagine if this way of doing things among businesses was to destroy the industry of the other one because you don't like the person or it's not saying what you want them to say, or they don't want to let you lead. It's not fair competition. But it's the same thing for a country. So why it's not acceptable to destroy with a bomb an industry that is owned by someone else that you don't like, but it's okay to do it to another country. I think we're splitting a little bit. And we've had those guys maybe playing too much video games and forgetting that you cannot just shut the television before going to bed. You have all those people that you displace with their family. And now you've insecured your own family. And putting them, in a position where they're now unfree and their reputation is completely changed. So how much of your own behavior as a leader is affecting the future of your own kids? It's totally absent. I lead. And as much as leadership, it is to have a mission and going towards that mission. And then you have how you see it in your vision, and you try to bring the people that works with you or for you into your vision. And then you set goals and you set objective for each person that is in it. And it's normally supposed to serve a mission, not someone. Do you understand the difference in between? None of us, except if we own the business, work for ourselves. We all have a contract, a mission, a role that is expected in what you're doing or why you are in a certain position. And if you allowed yourself slowly over the years taking a little step here, and then you put your foot there a little bit deeper, and then you want the power, you want to be deciding for everything, and you want to be the control, and you might be losing it. And you've probably agreed in setting groups, and I'm referring to the G20 or the World Economic Forum, or all the union that has been growing like mushrooms around the world in the past 2 years. 2020, it started in 2023, funny, during the pandemic. 2024, 2025, we got to Arabia and to Africa. And then we have that European Union that is the chief peddler, going to all those united groups that are all participating under the G20. G20 is 20 leaders. The trick is there. It's not 20 leaders, because some groups are just the top leader that has been named a union, but underneath there are 50, 30 countries. So it's no longer G20, it's world control. And this is where we are right now. So we've had European Union exercising, contouring with laws their power to lead certain countries that are critical in position or in size. So we all know, like for my case, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK are very well set position countries, big and full of resources. And certainly European Union, that is not a one nation, it's a group of nations. I think there are 29, no, maybe more than that. I forgot the number. Anyway, what we have to remember is that G20 has those people that are major group. So it's distortioning the understanding of what those group are actually doing around the world. And when you read the document, they say collaboration. Control, maybe, not collaboration. Collaboration means that there's no one leading, but actually European Union is leading and has used World Economic Forum since 2018, where they started to do the little crabs in the different files. And they had that marvelous idea of putting a vaccine and achieve a global package. I call it the Costco package of a group of things well wrapped in a one bag that you buy for this. So the question I'm asking right now is, after I took that time of really review what's happening around the world, if you look at the G20, I invite you to look at the G20, because my question when I looked at things is, who's really leading that thing? And what's the real reason why we are in that, I call it this, it used to be a spiritual fight, now we have a spiritual and physical fight. Not that it's better, but I realized that the G20 leaders, doing my calculation, and you say, Monique, what are you spending your time? Yeah, I know. Sometimes I do like to look at things in a different perspective, but actually right now, Donald Trump is the leader 2026 for the G20. So is this the reason why they all agree for the bomb? And what do they want? And what about the country that does not want to be part of it? Are those the country that receives bomb? And why would they have to merge with them if they don't want? So you send bomb because they say, no, we don't want to be with you. That's quite interesting. But, well, when you take the time to look at who's who in the zoo of the G20, well, you see things with a different perspective. And I invite you to do it because it is very revelating why we have Mr. Trump always in the news, in the backhand, and what's his true agenda for the G20 that he leads. And we know that the G20 is involving all of the countries that are participating in the World Economic Forum cultural approach of humanity. And they've all been having their hands in reducing humanity and this and that, and extending a old war into the new world, calling it the fourth industrial revolution, and making it look like it's for the industry. And then we're gonna take all the countries and use the resources to give you what you need. Way. Let me doubt it. It's always important to remember where we come from. And I know you've all been expressing yourself and who's who and who's doing this and that, but I have not really seen any simple assessment of those list of people and how they link in within each other's, and how all those union countries are led under a one person for 50 countries. The target is quite different. Do you realize what's the meaning of this? That means that you have now one continent leader, and it brings us back to the way they were wanting the world to be led, by band. And I remember, if you remember, I've been showing that flag that is by color, like a rainbow, and each band of color in the flag is a horizontal, longitudinal band of countries that are owned in that band. So the orange band, like in my case, it's Canada, European Union, and Russia. Those are the countries that are in that band. And then as you get below, then you have United Arabia, and then you have Africa, and then you have in the middle Iran, and you have in the middle Israel. And I let you look at it and just take your time look at the list of the leaders in the G20 and look at who's a member of the World Economic Forum and who's been in planning of reducing humanity and who's managing the businesses for all the plans that the World Economic Forum was offering and all they wanted for ID. And then, they're already merging everything right now, and you're all asleep. I just can't believe it. The fear of humanity after being so deceived about realizing that they cannot trust anyone. And it gone deep because the way they do that is manipulation, betrayal, false information, half information. I was just listening to Mr. Carney that was doing a speech in front of a group of Canadians and just going halfway in the information, So people were happy. You're going to be able to travel in Canada and visit and decide that you can visit up to Prince Edward Island. And what about all the other countries of the world? So why are you so enthusiastic about visiting other provinces in Canada? Because nobody has never been blocked of it. So what's so extraordinary about it? Nothing. But you have all those people, yay! So how they're able just to put you in a way where you feel relief suddenly that, something now looks nice. But it's halfway. They say it halfway. You'll be able to travel easy. No. They're going to separate all provinces, and you're going to have to deserve it. That's the strategy of the World Economic Forum. They want to control you everywhere, anywhere. But everyone is just doing their things. And as long as it sounds good, as long as the speech looks intelligent or sounds intelligent, as long as they're not putting too much fear, it's all okay. We forgot that they killed 150 million people, but those are the same people. World Economic Forum are the one that hired Bill Gates, that did invest in that vaccine that killed and injured 150 million people. But life goes on. Oh, yeah. Yes, Mark, you're doing such a good speech now, and we all feel reassured that you're a good guy. No. He's not a good guy. He's a guy playing violin. And if you listen carefully, step back, and when someone talks to you right now, wherever, whenever you listen to any of those leaders, wake up. That's your responsibility. Wake up. Listen with attention. We're in the Great Reset already. They're planning on changing the dollars in July, I think. And what's about humanity in all this? Well, they send bomb. Let's see, this country doesn't want to merge with us in the one world order. And then we're doing the Great Reset, and they're not doing it. They're not controlling their borders. They're not using the chip on the passport. And if you look at Great Britain and UK, you will see how they've been just resetting all the rules to the Great Reset. everything is in place, and Canada has done it, and they're starting to do it in Australia, in New Zealand, and in that's what it is. Anyway, I just want to tell you that we've gone through a lot, and I agree with you. But this is not in being passive or looking to be reassured with a speech that we're going to change that world. And this is each of us, our responsibility to take a moment and address our fear, because this is what makes them lead you easily. Then they use the vile and the smooth talking, and they know exactly what to say to reassure you. They just crank the tone, they say halfway the thing that you want to hear, and they stop it there. And nobody questioned the, and what about the rest of the country? If we are traveling, why are you managing people, older people? What's your plan about this, eh? What's your real plan about managing all and everything about older people? Properties, declaring properties. And you know, it's happening every day. But those guys don't own the country. They don't. They're in an agreement that was made away from any legal agreement. You've all been accepting that the king is the king. And you all know that Canada and Commonwealth country, if they're owned by royal, they're owned by royal. You don't own your house. You don't own anything. So if they decide to take it, you're just bye-bye. We're taking it. But you're not even sure if the king is the real king. I told you that the queen didn't give the king the inheritance, and everyone just went blah blah blah. Oh, she's just funny. She thinks she's the queen. Oh wow. That's okay. You don't have to believe it. But when you look at what's happening, and you look at all that is going on in UK, and you look at all the strategy of the World Economic Forum that is implemented in all the Commonwealth countries, you cannot not look at who's behind all this. You cannot. Sorry for the dog. So I just want to make you aware of how attentive to the details it is at the moment, very important, and how slowly they make you forget the story. And the story started with the pandemic, and you knew already there, you were told what will be coming, and you all said no. What they're going to do is to take your freedom of humanity. But the reality is, Earth is for humanity first, and you lead the land. If anyone comes in your country and take your resources, they should pay a tax for taking stuff in your house, and you should be exempted of paying any taxes. And those people, you sort of sell the resources of your land. If you want the land, then that's ours. Let's make rules. If you come, you have to follow those rules. You cannot take more than that every time you come. And if you dig a hole, you have to refill it. And then you have to make sure that you decontaminate. And then otherwise, what they do, they're going to destroy the land. What do you think? The experience had shown in the past that they're getting the land to exploit it. They dig their hole, they do their business, and they leave you with the trouble. And if Earth is for humanity, what are you thinking about? What they're doing with the land you're in? And if the land is owned by God because He is the creator, none of what is going on right now makes sense. Just think about it. Why would a bunch of people like you and me decide that they have the better idea for the world? They're all pappies and mommies, grandparents. They're going to be gone in 15, 20 years at most, and in decline like any older people. And what will you do with that? You'll have to restart all over again. And what will remain of it? The damage that they will have done to your health, to your land, to the animals, to how you use resources, and how you've been. We're almost getting back to the Roman time. It's just terrible. I just can't believe that it's all going so passively through. And well, I'm getting in my position soon, and I'm telling you, I've been studying a lot what's happening, and Mr. Trump is the leader of the G20. And he agrees in implementing the One World Order. Don't take me wrong. That's his name. Look at it. Who's leading the G20 and who's part of the G20? And you look at European Union, and all the European and the Union group of the world. So I counted half of the planet. So will they throw a bomb every time that they cannot manipulate or bully a country enough that they will continue to say no? Let me say that when they don't want someone somewhere, they find their way of telling you and trying to remove you. Not nice, but that's the reality. That is the reality. Whether you like it or not. What they do actually to implement their strategy in bullying the smaller country so they all get in, how they were able to merge all those people, I doubt that you want to lose your identity for a one world order saying that it's collaboration for resources. Do you see it? And who's going to benefit taking resources from the land right and left and remove the identity of the people in each of those countries for a bunch of industrial that wants to build stuff, cars, and they're just going to create more garbage to manage? We should be thinking reducing this. No. We're just going to remove you humans, and we're going to take the land, and then we want to do whatever we want with the resources. And it's going to be the fight as who's going to be the richest one to control the planet over God. It is a man's world. And they play with you like a video game. Look at it however you want. They don't care at all. You don't agree, I'm sending you bombs. We want that one world order. We want to control. And I want me, Mr. Trump, to be the one at the top. So I intimidate. And then they've done it at smaller size, trying to remove you, say that you're stupid, you cannot think, and you're not performant enough. And they make the people on social media believe it before you even get in your position. This is smart, you know. This is how they get in your mind. So I think I've made my point here. I just want to wake you up a little bit, to shake a little bit of how you're listening to the things that are told. And we're not looking for a good speaker as a prime minister. We want someone that is able to make the humanity of that land better. First, we've not worked actually in giving services to humanity. We've been reducing smartly. You're going to be able to drive your car if you're over 65, but your doctor will have to agree. But there's no doctor, so who's going to decide that? Oh, they're going to slowly transmute that to another group, and then it's going to go down, and then anyone will be to decide that if you're able or not. Like they did with me, they tried to tell me that I had been crazy. So try to get out of a situation where people are accusing you to be crazy, unstable. Just try to see this. Look at yourself today in the mirror, and then just think about a group of people suddenly that are said, oh, this person is sick. The snake mouth that is slowly making people doubt, maybe, or maybe this, or no, maybe this. And then they do the same with you, with those government, and removing things slowly one by one, just like pulling on the cord until they removed everything. They put you in the 15-minute city. You're not allowed to go more than 100 times per year outside of your city, and you have to do everything inside there. And if you want to travel, but it's a reward. So you have to have been nice, pay all your account, pay all your this and that and that and that, and no legal problem or no police ticket. Just look at how deep they can go. Do we want to wait to see how far they will go? I'm sending you that question. Do we really need to get into it before we push them out? March 6th, I've sent a decree to all the Commonwealth countries saying that I was removing all the prime minister because it was confirmed they were linked to the World Economic Forum leader group taking command from those people, which was breaking sovereignty of the nation. And because it was allowing the king to command that side government to uniformize all the Commonwealth country to his own rules. Those same rules are in place actually in UK. And we can talk about it forever. I just think that it's time that we list all we've been complaining about and make sure we don't forget about it. 150 million killed by a strategy coming from the World Economic Forum, well identified, needed to be getting legal case. But they won't be doing it in Canada. They were the one part of the strategy because they are all part of the World Economic Forum. So if you're waiting for them to incriminate themselves, you're dreaming. It won't happen. So why it's United States doing it? Well, they are in the middle position right now. It's not clear. It's not clear who's leading. It's not clear. I know that Elon Musk had a contract with World Economic Forum to implement all the AI, the tag, the ID card, the system of AI. And when he was saying, oh, it's going to be dangerous because he's the one doing it. Why do you think he knows why it's going to be dangerous? Because he's been the one building it. He knows what's inside, and he's been doing it with other people. And partnering with the other big groups like Apple and Google and Microsoft. So, and we have Elon Musk that has been launching all those satellites around the world. There are 1,000 of them. And he's linked with NASA sending his rocket. And he's attached to the United States, but he's a South African Canadian citizen with a passport linked with Commonwealth country or used to be Commonwealth country. And who's behind Commonwealth country? The royals. So it's just a brief shakeout. I just want to make sure that you keep track of the history whenever you agree passively to what they're implementing, and that you understand that the Great Reset is going on right now. Because I've been asking those prime ministers to move out, but they've bought the Royal Army and the Royal Police, Mounted Police, RCMP. And he's commanding, but he's not supposed to. Those group are the Queen's army. So I'm stuck because all of you think it's fine right now. And as we are proposing you a true reality of how we can resolve this, you all are reluctant to the change, the vision of it. But that queen was smart. She knew what she was doing. She knew what was happening. Just think about it. They were having in mind to remove women, but she made sure she put a new woman in place because there are no women in those groups. So this is forcing them to have a woman with them. And 50% of the planet is a woman. And 50% of the planet has a woman that is organized, that manages a family, a job. Often they are manager and they are doing and looking after everything. They're wonderful managers. And I'm sure you agree with this. To whatever you say, men, and to whatever you think that emotionally, sometimes it's difficult to manage. But the reality is there's a lot of deception in women. And as much as I want to talk about this, I don't have time for it because we've already done 50 minutes of discussion, but I wanted to do it with you. And I don't know how much of that I will be posting, and probably I will post it all and do 15 minutes of the discussion that I just did. But thank you if you were up to this point and you've been listening to all I have going on in my mind and how unhappy of how they're managing things right now, and how it's the end of the recess and the end of the time to play in the backyard, and then it's time to come back and sit at the table and hear what they have to say. And I know they're gonna freak out hearing this, but the game is over, and we're taking our control back. Take care of yourself, people. Manage your fear. Make sure that you know what you want for your country and for yourself first. Set the values and defend yourself. Don't go the other way around because they won't listen to you. Don't attack what they do. Tell them what you want and what you don't want. Be clear, be nice, be positive. Let's do that together. Take care. Bye.